Well, hello. I'd like to tell you a story. So let's get started. This story is about a motorcycle ride I almost died from. It happened on a beautiful spring day in 1973. I had purchased two Honda 125 motorcycles that were street legal. At the time, I felt they would be a good crossover between a dirt bike and a street bike for hill climbing and driving around town. One was for my wife and one was for me. They didn't have enough power to travel on freeways or other major roads, and I wanted better highway speed. And I also wanted better mountain climbing ability. So I installed a dome piston and a thicker head gasket for more compression and power. It made a big difference. I had a day off, so I decided to test out my modifications up in the canyon on a mountain Jeep trail. It has been vastly improved since then. In the 70s, it was just a dirt Jeep trail, and it was not well maintained. The weather in the city was warm, and so I was dressed only in a t-shirt, jeans, and tennis shoes. No helmet, no coat, no gloves. I got up in the canyon and started down the trail. I ran into spotty areas of snow cover on the road, and that should have been a warning to me. About 2 or 3 miles in, I encountered a snowslide that totally blocked the road. It was about 30 feet wide and at a very steep angle. I didn't want to give up my riding so soon, so I carefully pushed my tire into the snow and saw that it made a shallow depression. I slowly inched my way across it, making a slight depression in the snow, which my rear tire could follow. I drove further and encountered another one and did exactly the same thing, testing it with my front tire and then slowly pushing the bike across. After negotiating the first two, I felt pretty confident when I found a third one. And I figured I could do the same thing on this third one. At some point, either the snow was too icy to make a depression, or the depression I was using gave way, or I probably was going too fast and being careless. Whatever the reason, the motorcycle and I both slid off the road and down the slide about 100 yards into deeper snow. It was quite steep, and the snow was about waist high, with mountain bushes underneath the snow. I had stayed with the bike as we slid down. It was difficult to move around in the snow, and I quickly got cold and wet. I had a choice. I could leave my new bike and hike out, or get the bike back up to the road and ride home. I knew leaving the bike there would be the same as throwing it away. If someone didn't get to it before I did, it would just be a rusty piece of junk. Getting a wrecker up that road was out of the question. I waded downhill far enough to determine there were steep cliffs barring my way in that direction. The bike didn't appear to be damaged very much, so I decided to get it back to the road. I could hardly stand up because of the bushes and snow, and I was getting wetter and colder. Since the bike wouldn't roll, I started to walk the bike upward. First, I had to stop down and kick the snow out of the way a few feet above me. Then I lifted one end of the bike uphill a few inches. Then I went around and did the same for the other end, over and over and over. The hours went by. Because of the amount of snow to move and the insecure footing, it was exhausting work. I was starting to shiver and had to take rest stops often. I knew I was close to hypothermia and was pleading with heaven for help. After many hours, I finally got the bike back up onto the trail and got it running. The sun had gone down and it was dark. The mountain air was cold and I was soaked and, to tell the truth, a bit delirious. I don't remember how I got back over the first 2 slides and onto the canyon road. There used to be a bar in the canyon just down a ways after the trailhead. I saw its lights and went inside. They probably saved my life. I was able to warm up and stop shivering so hard. I called my wife. She brought our truck up and we hauled the bike home. Once I was thinking straight again, I knew I had been really stupid. I went into the mountains totally dressed wrong and foolishly tempted fate by crossing those snow slides. I should have turned around. And I worried my dear wife unnecessarily. As hard and as dumb as it was, I can look back and clearly see that I had heaven's help that day. Thank you for your time.